Good evening, and I'd like to wish everyone a wonderful and a happy Thanksgiving. Hope you had that yesterday and right up until yesterday. And those that give thanks for family and friends and positive, good things that happen, hope you're having the same experience even today. If you're looking for the weekly Ask Welfare Rights broadcast, you found us. It's a minute or two after 7 p.m. And my name is Maureen Taylor, and once again, I'd like to welcome you to the Ask Welfare Rights broadcast, and to wish you yet again a happy Thanksgiving. I'm here with my colleague, the national co-chairperson of the National Welfare Rights Union, and that's Marion Kramer, who's going to say hello and welcome you all. Marion?
Uh, Happy belated Thanksgiving, but that goes all during the week because I know you're going to be eating on, some of you going to be eating on that same turkey on Sunday. But we want to make sure that you know that we are happy to be here tonight, and to make you go to your TV and turn on what in Detroit. What is that channel? What?
Channel 90, 91 if you pay for it, 90 if you don't, 20 if you don't pay for it. Yeah, you can still sneak and get that. Okay.
Oh, or you can get us. You can get us on TV 33 WHPR.com. That's the website, and it comes over there pretty good. Um, if you want to participate in the program and call us and talk, have your comments heard and what have you, you can call those two numbers down there, 868-4336 or 868-0351. I know one thing, Maureen.
What's that?
I'm still full from yesterday.
Oh, truly, truly,
And,
truly.
and but I was full, but I still had to go back and get some more to eat today.
Well, the body does require regular intervals of food. But, at my house, we got a new phrase, and it's called portion size. And we're trying to look at portion size.
But did you
And
implement that this weekend?
no, listen, I got one of those Michigan deep dish Michigan cherry pies. And it's just nothing to do but get you a great big serving spoon and put it in there and eat that pie. Man, that bad boy was good. And then Tiffany made that award-winning 3-cheese macaroni and cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, you was chasing that cheese all down your sleeves and everything. What Andy Griffin used to say,
Well,
good
check
evening.
this. I had
Good
to make
Lord.
vegan mac and cheese,
Vegan mac and
and
cheese.
Carolyn made the
What's
regular cheese.
what's
I mean,
vegan mac and cheese?
that's without the regular milk,
Without cheese?
without dairy food and stuff like that. You
Well, how's it
substitute.
cheese?
You substitute cheese for vegans, and you substitute milk like almond. Use almond milk and all that, but it's good. It ends up being good if you season it right and everything. But we had three kinds of dressing.
Don't try it. Don't try it. Go ahead.
What
Go
happened?
ahead. Nothing. Go ahead.
Three types of dressings, but and it was good, but just too much food. But the thing that got me was I got hooked on my sweet potato pie, so I can't stop eating it.
I know. I know.
I wonder if RJ had anything to eat this week.
Well, he's too sharp. Leave him alone. Let him walk on where he's going. Here, Mary, why don't you take a moment and tell folks what it is that you were thankful for this Thanksgiving season?
Just like I told you earlier, I'm thankful I got up this morning and that I'm still walking around. And I'm thankful that I'm here still to be able to help fight for a better society than what we're living under right now, and help with the young people to be able to have some of the guidance that we were able to get. And that is not take over the movement, but be a part of the movement and give up any knowledge that we have. And that's one thing we want to start doing on this program, Maureen, is like we said, is bring more and more education to our fellow members and friends out there. We got a long, tedious road coming up, And you can see it every day on. They bring it to you on TV, on the radios, and everywhere. So let's get ready for this fight that's ahead. So I'm grateful that I have an opportunity to help be a part of the folks that are beginning to move forward again.
Well, I tell you what I'm grateful for. We went to Tiffany's house yesterday, Tiffany and James out in River Rouge. And Brandon, who is my sister's grandson.
Your great grandniece,
No, no,
nephew.
no, 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 no. This is my sister's grandson. All right, and his son,
His son.
his son is Brandon.
Oh
And
Lord.
Brandon just turned two. No, he's not even two yet. Or close to being two. But I haven't seen him in a long time, and he had some birth defects when he was born. And we all decided it don't matter. This is a special child. Well, so he's growing out of a lot of these childhood birth defects that he had. And yesterday, I hadn't seen him in so long. He's just so handsome. And he went up to his dad, and Dad was eating that award-winning macaroni and cheese. And Lil Brandon is a thinker. Ran in there and looked around and saw, Daddy, more. I was so impressed. I started looking for my checkbook. I'd write him a check right there. Man, and he was just as cute as he could be. So I'm so grateful that Tiffany has taken on the family burden of being the place where everybody can gather. And there must have been 40 people up in that house yesterday, and she had pasta and shrimp, and somebody else fixed turkey, and I came in there where, my mother never liked turkey on Thanksgiving, and she always wanted pepper steak. So I brought the pepper steak and the rice, and had gone already over to Parks to get a rib and a half, and there was some other people. It's a whole potluck thing, and ooh, Lord. All I could do is look at all that food, but then I looked at how the different family members are just blossoming, and then here come the little babies, and talking about more daddy. I was just enthused, so really grateful for family. And then also, we had at least I think it was a really great welfare rights retreat last weekend. And I'm grateful for the members of Michigan Welfare Rights and other welfare rights affiliates that just don't give up. We living through some treacherous, terrible times. Got together, Mary BJ and the folks from the Poverty Initiative and the group from the Social Work Action Network team, and everybody's enthused. We are going to stick and stay in this fight. There's no question that these class issues have to be dealt with, and the courage that these folks put together. Ain't they something? I mean, they make you feel good. Ann and them have just courage. So I was really enthused and want to be grateful and have a lot of gratitude for how welfare rights across the nation sticks into these battles.
Yeah, that was. I'm glad you brought that up because you come out of those kind of meetings and retreats and what have you, very enthusiastic and a lot of energy to go forward. This, Maureen, I want to get this out now.
Yes.
Last week on the program, we read you the article that had appeared in the paper concerning the water that Detroit is hollering that Highland Park owes.
I'm talking about the court case.
And that it was overturned by the Supreme Court. That
It was the appeals court.
was it? Yeah, the
Yeah,
appeals court.
yeah.
Yeah, the appeals court. But we were assured when we went to city council meeting this past week that they're gonna continue to fight and take it all the way up to the Supreme Court. And I had, Maureen, I had to look at that city council and tell them, it is not they, it's us. The thing about it is you need to keep the people in Highland Park informed on what's going on.
Yeah.
This is a court case that was appealed 2 years ago. And that was from Judge Murphy, who all of us at one time supported to be in, at
judge.
36th District. And it was a disgrace to see him sit up there and do that. But, it was appeal. They would not, they, said like the city manager said at one time, should we lose, that the Highland Parkers, that property owners would be responsible for paying that money back. And so what we're saying to people now, come out this Friday at 6 p.m. at Nianese Cafe right there on Glendale and Woodward Avenue. And let's get us a plan, as well as let's understand what is going on. And the thing
Mary,
that I
let's
want to
say that
say,
again. On Woodward, right there off of Glendale, Nandi's Restaurant, 6 o'clock Friday. We should repeat that a lot.
you need to show up, because I got a call today from one of our members saying, that his water bill over here is $2,000. He said, thought we were supposed to get some relief. I said, you're going to get some relief by us continuing to fight, because
the only
every
relief.
time we look around, they bringing something else in to put on our poor backs. So, show up for that meeting. Don't tell me, I couldn't come because A,
forgot.
B, and C and stuff like that. Come to that meeting. Let's have enough people that people have to be all on the outside and everything.
That's this Friday, a week from today, 6 o'clock at Nandi's, Nandi, Nandi's Restaurant, which is on Woodward, right there near Glendale.
Glendale, right at the service
Okay.
station on the west side of Woodward.
All right, that's good.
Okay,
That's
so
good.
let's not only show our support, but let's demand justice.
And get a plan on how
Yeah,
you're
you
going to
got to.
respond.
But
You don't have a choice now. They put this
the
on
other
you.
thing, Maureen, we have been in the streets, the courts, and the legislative, and they've been trying to fight us down on each step, but we always pop back. And again, I want to say to our attorneys, stay in there, and just like Alice said,
Alice Jennings.
have said all this week. Yeah, we are digging even deeper, because they know that they represent our interests, not the interests of the corporation. So, get in there and let's not only support everybody in the streets, the courts, and the legislative, but look, like you rise up and become a part of this fight and be one of the leaders of this fight. Thank you.
Now, Marion, don't forget, one of the things that the Pope said was that it's amazing that if a corporation or an institution finds itself in some kind of financial trouble and has to declare bankruptcy or something along those lines, that millions of dollars show up in an effort to try to help them out of their precarious situation. But if a poor community or a poor person, a low-income person, has to declare bankruptcy because of their resources have gone away, and that's when the Pope put his fingers up. He said, you can't find 2 pennies to try to help that individual. And all the way in Rome, the Pope was clearly able to identify the class nature of this fight that we're in. And see, folks in Highland Park, same like the folks in Detroit, we are under attack. And in Highland Park, if you don't do something about this, you're talking about the appeals court says that it's all right for Detroit to put a burden on the backs of people in Highland Park that they've known for years are in trouble, and that's okay. But Marion, I need you to say one more thing. Pistons made a snap decision, if you believe it's snap, to leave
Yes.
Auburn Hills.
Yes, did you see that?
They just decided to do that just on the spur of a
Yes.
moment, really. And they're
That's
going to leave
been
Auburn,
there.
of course, they're going to leave Auburn Hills, and they're going to come down and join the hockey folks and have the Pistons come back to Detroit. And Channel 247, and got the music
And
out,
the
trumpets
Lions, and
all
the
like this.
Lions, and
No. They going
all
over
of
there
them.
with the hockey people.
Yeah, but I'm saying in
here's
that area.
But here's the point. When they left Highland Park and they went to Auburn Hills, they demanded, requested, asked for whatever verb you want to use.
Leaving Detroit.
When they left Detroit, yeah, and they went to Auburn Hills and they needed a 30-year tax abatement. We don't need to be able to pay taxes for 30 years. And if you let that happen, then when we go to Auburn Hills, we're going to build this stadium, and we're going to hire some people, and people going to get jobs, and all that happened. All of that happened. Now, they've been there 28 years. You know, now, look at it again. They've been there 28 years. All right, in Auburn Hills. In 2 more years, the tax abatement situation will be over. And now they're coming to Detroit. And they need a tax abatement here, too. And, of course, we going to get jobs. We get jobs, always get jobs. Making minimum wage. You know, people got to pour the beer. Yes, at these arenas. And then, you know, the dry cleaners got to show up outside, and the people that shovel the snow, and the little agencies and whatnot. So say something about that, Marion. Here we go again.
Where our base of operation is located in Central United Methodist Church, and as well as the church. They have constantly tried to squeeze us, but at the same time,
going nowhere.
every time one of those corporation moves down there, we have problems with our phones.
Every time.
Every time. And do you think AT&T and what's the other one's name?
I don't know.
Your TV,
Comcast
or any of them will reimburse us or anything like that? No. And people be calling all the time, but they can't get us because of the problem with the construction in downtown Detroit. And the mayor sure don't give a hoot. Well, all he was doing was sitting up in there and showing all his false teeth.
Well,
you know.
Here we go with the tax abatement request, and the Pistons are going to move into the new Hockey Town Arena.
And try to crowd us out.
And, well, they always try to do that.
But they got a good...
for the next 30 years, they won't have to pay whatever kind of taxes that everybody else has to pay. And in about 28 years, they'll be saying, well, you know...
Let me move back to Pontiac now. Pontiac now.
You know,
let's go back to Pontiac.
Or Flint, because by then they've been in war everybody out.
Yes.
And sent them all out the place,
and
you know?
And the thing about it...
30 years.
The owners make buku of money off of... those games
all the time,
Maureen. And you know what do they do for the community?
Well, the people get jobs.
What kind of jobs? They got the little penny ante jobs.
If you don't have a job at all, you think that's a big thing.
Yeah,
and you get a job of filling up beer in the can, and that's the job that you get. So, and then the people that have to clean up the arena, and the people that have to paint the arena, and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, we're coming back to this again, but it's just so shocking to me, Marion, that the same scenario keep being repeated. They leave Highland Park, then they go to Detroit, then they go to leave Detroit, then they go to Auburn Hills, and now we got all these festivities because they're coming home. And they playing all these Temptations music, you know, good to go home and all this kind of stuff. You know, my goodness. Caller, you the first caller on the air, and thank you so very much for calling Ask Welfare Rights.
Good evening, young ladies, and how are you?
Fine, sir.
Thank you very much, and for taking my call. We live inside of color, and I just want to ask one simple question.
Go ahead.
What is they runoff going to be when the rain hit their building, hit that arena? And who going to pay for the runoff of the water?
Oh, you talking about the drainage fees.
The drainage, yeah. Who going to pay that and all the rest of the stuff that maybe these churches and certain businesses got to pay, and the homeowner going to end up have to pay that too?
We have no idea, because I don't know what a drainage fee is yet. Do you?
No.
I still, what's a drainage fee?
Robbing you.
That's just what it is. See, the state's supposed
to get you out of the city.
The state's supposed to pay. So they can come in and live
in your area, so they can get to the stadiums.
Get to the stadiums.
Well, you know, it's been a rude awakening over here in Highland Park, because the state was supposed to pay Highland Park 30. Well, it's going into its 31st year. Years of drainage water for that
what
drain.
Is a drainage
and
fee?
it's the water that's drained off of the Davison Expressway. There's a drainage thing there, and the state.
You talking about the runoffs on the side?
Runoff,
yes,
yeah.
That's all it is.
Like the water that run from your property on into the street and down to the sewer. That's
right.
The drainage.
That's the drainage.
But let me tell you this: with that, they ain't got nobody out here. See, I've been watching. They ain't got nobody out here cleaning these sewers so that the drainage
They've been
would go down.
stinking
And that's
too.
why you're getting all that backed
Back
up
up.
stuff on the
Uh-huh.
freeway and all that. But yet they talking all this, give me this tax and give me that. Wait a minute, y'all do your job first.
Let me tell you this, caller. When I was able to get to the Coliseum in Rome and got
Uh-huh.
a chance to visit all that,
Mhm.
do you know that the sewers and the toilet systems built 2,000 years ago still work?
Ain't that something?
Scary, ain't it? That's 2,000-year-old toilets, and they still working. Well, I was there.
That's something.
Boy, caller,
They
thank
got
you for
they
your
just
call.
got us all fixed
Thank
up
you.
and mixed up. But we'll get it together.
And
Yes,
thank you,
that's
sir.
right. Well, remember this, that the county also owes Highland Park money
Yeah.
too for Woodward Avenue, and they both
yeah.
refusing to pay, saying you didn't bill us.
So therefore, it didn't happen.
come on
Lord
now.
Wait a
have mercy.
minute. Don't they owe y'all some revenue sharing too?
They
Yes.
owe us some money, honey.
Yes.
This is crazy, man. That's robbery. That's straight gangsterism, man.
Straight up gangster. You
They-
The
right.
hey.
people gonna rise up on this though because
sure hope
everybody
so.
gonna get
I
swole.
hope so. I am hoping and
Everybody
praying
gonna
so.
rise up.
Uh-huh.
Just hold on. Just
we
hold
there.
on. Hold your patience. It'll be
Uh-huh.
all it because everybody's looking at all of this stuff that's going on. You got all these white folks now got their man in office and they happy and they acting more brash. They coming downtown with it too. I'm gonna let you know they coming downtown with that brash attitude like they the best.
Well,
And I'm like, man, y'all better watch yourself with that, man, because there's a lot of hungry and mad people out here that they done did people like that anyway.
it's going to be ugly the next
It's
few
gonna be
years,
ugly.
okay? Be careful.
Yes, y'all have a beautiful day and peace and love to you.
And thank you so much.
That's why we in solid color.
All right
Peace.
now. All right now. Caller, thank you for waiting, and thank you for calling Ask Welfare Rights. Caller, you there?
Yeah, that's
Hey, yes, that's you. How are you?
Hey, Michelle.
Can you hear me?
Michelle and Rick here.
Very good. Can you hear us?
Hey, I hear you fine.
Very
Ah,
good.
Hey, Rick.
Ladies and gentlemen, our Washington D.C. Welfare Rights reporters
Reporters.
and confidants and whatnot are on the air. Rick and Michelle are on the line, and good evening to you both.
Good evening to you and your listeners.
All righty,
Who did he say?
listeners.
Oh, okay.
You know, okay. All right, listen, I'm so glad you all were able to get in and able to call us this evening. We talked earlier today, and let's get right into your reflections. First of all, tell us what's the mood of the people in Washington, D.C. since the election? What are y'all seeing and what are y'all hearing?
Well, I would say it's kind of a mixed reaction. There's some folks who seem like they're pretty upset or are concerned because, you know, we're your nation's capital, and it's a major business here. But the other thing is that we see folks come, we see folks go. Mostly people are trying to figure out what the impact is going to be on our local laws. Congress has oversight over our laws and our budget, and loses very few opportunities to try to interfere with our affairs. But the other response is, at least one of the ones that we've been putting forward, is that reminding people that this is a system that we live under. And I heard a quote the other day. Apparently, Noam Chomsky said, "We live under the party of capital," and it has like one face is the Democrats and the other face is the Republicans. And that's a lot of what we're seeing among folks here who are particularly people who are politically active and trying to affect change.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
and we're seeing a lot, like Michelle said, a lot of confusion because people, all of us were duped. I think each and every one of us, I for sure did not believe that Donald Trump, but I was basing all that on the media. So the media and here in America is working fine for the capitalists because they fool everybody.
Yep.
It fooled everybody. It made a lot of people think that we were going to have our first woman president. and they played this guy out on most of the news as some kind of buffoon, some kind of crazy maniac. And they had planned all along for him to win this election. I mean, the capitalists, that is.
Well, all right. Marion, you want to comment about your thinking about this election? We've talked about it. What do you think?
Uh,
What are you seeing? What are you hearing among people
we're
you're,
hearing the same thing here. Folks are outraged about the electoral college. You know, the last time we was going through this was during the Bush administration, and
Right.
they're trying to figure out how can they be the determination of the election. If they don't use that, they got something else they're gonna use to try to keep us.
Right.
You know,
Well, they threw all that stuff out early on in setting up this so-called democracy for the rich. And when they were setting it up, that was supposed to have been one of their
ditch.
Primary control.
control the switch that they can turn off and on and get whatever they want. But it backfired on them and all of us.
Yes.
And now we see that we have Donald Trump. But my real feeling is, although Donald Trump is different from
Hillary.
Hillary, but he's gonna do no more or no less than she can do, because they all work for the capitalists, and they got to keep this capitalist system going. So they're gonna do everything that they can do to make it run.
For one thing, we have now, Rick, is the fact that we had talked about that the government controls the government, that the corporation does. Now we have they not only control it, they run in the government. You know, and all decisions, and even young children understand that, you know, all the decisions that are being made are for the benefit of the corporation to go forward. And, you know, we're trying to urge and get people more involved where they can understand if we're going to have a future where their homelessness is gone, hunger is gone, we have the opportunity for a quality education and housing and what have you. We're going to have to fight against the Clintons, the Trumps, and all the rest of those sections of that class, because.
All right, my sister.
Yeah, but you know, the other thing that just hit me is that the other thing that we're hearing from folks is folks are finally recognizing that none of these parties are representing our interests.
None.
You know, we talked earlier on about the fact that everybody had all of these platforms, but nobody was talking about the poor.
Yeah.
Oh, none.
You know, they're all worrying about the middle class.
Yeah.
But the middle class have become poor, and they were still not talking about the poor, and that's how they missed all these folks who came out voting for. I'll admit that, you know, I had somebody the morning before that Hillary was going to win, and when she called me to ask, well, what happened, I had to tell her, well, the reality is that still the rich running the system. You know, now they would just do it directly instead of through minions. And the fact is that the president doesn't run the country. It's still the Congress. I mean, it's and the idea that the president is going to do it all is a myth that we should have learned from Obama.
Well, you know, I agree, and let me just add to this conversation. You know, we got a sense of fear and a sense of a dread across the country. We got these folks, young and old, tall and short, and, you know, all different nationalities there in major cities across the country, demonstrating, picketing, some violent, some peaceful, all across the country talking about there's something wrong here. And for sure, you know, with 339 million people in the United States of America, none of us would have picked those two candidates. And they certainly represent a voice of corporate America. But I'd still maintain, you know, had the other candidate won, probably would not have had this level of demonstrations and whatnot out in the streets, because people would have been content to be, you know, lulled for 4 more or 8 more years.
Yes.
But I think
you're
that,
right about that.
I think the fact that we got a guy, I remember some of those commercials near the end of the campaigning, and those commercials especially about showing the children watching TV. And when the president-elect mocked the disabled man, and when he said those ugly things about grabbing women, and when he said those things about Hispanics, and then said those things about Muslims, and said those things, if I had been in Detroit, I wouldn't have tried to save the auto industry. I would have let it go under, and all those kinds of things. And the children watching this, I think that now you got all of those different segments fearful about what is going to happen to them. And then as we watch the president-elect pick his cabinet, he got the Klan sitting up there. All kind of stuff is going on. So I agree. I think the working class has a right to be fearful, certainly got a right to be apprehensive about something, and there's a breach. It's a breach in the Republican Party. There's a breach in the Democratic Party, and it might be the time to start raising a question about, well, we can't go left, we can't go right. We're going to have to go for what we know and go for our own.
Right. I mean, I agree with you 1,000,000,000%. And I think that's what has happened. The demonstrations that I witnessed were, the kids were they weren't mad at just Republicans. They weren't mad at Democrats, but they knew or they felt that the system that governs this state that we live in is failing. It's not doing what it's supposed to do, and that was probably one of the main reasons why Trump won anyway.
Yeah,
a group of people who felt entitlement to America, and saw that it was slipping away, even the black president. So they make sure that what would happen this time, but they still don't quite understand that we have to be more vigilant, just like you said, Maureen, and helping people understand that this capitalist system is not going to work for us.
It will not.
The capitalist mode of production, it has outlived its days, it outlived its usefulness, and that is really truly behind why we're in the 8-ball anyway.
That's absolutely.
Neither one of those guys going to give us jobs or bail out the working class.
Well,
nobody talked about bailing out the working class. Neither one of them are going to ever do what it is that we need.
No, they
what
can't
we need to do is to realize that we are that 800-pound sleeping giant in the room.
Yeah,
and we are much stronger than we think we are, and you get only what you get only what you're organized to take.
So
we need to get organized.
Sinbad, the comedian, has come out of semi-retirement. And I don't know if you all saw that, Marion. I don't know if you saw what he wrote. And Sinbad came out right after the election, and what he said was the reason I came out and got to get back on the circuit again is because the country is in a funk. And that probably what's going to happen, and these are his words, a guy like the president-elect is going to be dealt with by people from his own group. And that's because, and that's because he cannot deliver on all of these promises that he been making. This stuff ain't, just talking yang.
But they've already started counting.
Well, it might be almost a good thing when we look at it that he won, because this will rush people to an understanding of this system that we live under. And that's what we really need. Now we have the slogan, the 99 against the 1.
Yeah.
Now we need a program and a party to carry that out and bring all that together for us.
Well, I'm going to ask you two to comment on this other issue that I raised with you all today. And Marion, I talked with our colleagues earlier, and I wanted to know your thinking on a third voice. Now, that's kind of a dangerous concept these days, because people are blaming Jill Stein and the Johnson guy and the Libertarian guy and the whatever the rest of them are for the loss of Hillary Clinton. But what do you all think in terms of organizing, encouraging, developing, building, supporting, whatever verb we're going to use, of millions of middle and low income people across this nation whose only existence is about offering what it is that we need for our standard of life, for our quality of life, and our standard of living. What do you all think about a third voice?
Well, I think it's exactly right. You know, you and I were talking earlier, and you said you weren't talking about, another political party. But the truth is that in order to build the kind of movement we need, go where we need to go, we need a party. But we can call it a third voice because its primary goal is to develop a program to help educate people and develop a platform and a program in order to deal with the situation that we're facing right now. And I think that one of the things that's been really exciting is that as we look at the slogans of a lot of the groups organizing, they are merging the demands, recognizing that we have joint interests. Like
Yes.
Black Lives Matter is doing demonstrations that say no more deportation, free education. A lot of anti-deportation groups have slogans that say protect Black lives and police brutality. So the fair housing, the things that we need for
Yes.
jobs. Folks are recognizing that these interests are aligned and that we are the ones that we've been waiting for to raise the platform, to raise the concern, to raise the banner, take our country, our Commonwealth back and use it in our own interest. We listen a lot of times to talk about the economy and, what's deserved and what's not. But the interesting thing is that we, the working class, are the ones who make everything.
That's
But
right.
somehow we don't ever get justice or fairness. It's not built into the laws. It's not built into the policies. The more we understand, like Rick was saying, and recognize that this is a system that's only worked to the interest of the rich. The rich are the only ones who have democracy, and that's why we have choices that we could go for in the elections.
Voices.
That's why we are the ones that have to step forward and do the work, take our country back.
I agree.
And we can't
Michelle?
do it. I agree with what you guys are saying, but we can't do it just by being a party that every 4 or 2 years runs somebody for Congress or runs somebody for president
Or mayor,
for mayor.
whatever.
A party really supposed to take in the information from our class, synthesize that information, and spit out programs as a result of it. And that's what I think that we need to do, but not to build another party.
That's right.
Not even like the Green Party. We've been through the Green experience.
And they're only interested in running people for office, not in building a program in the community.
Okay, it
So
sounds like
work that Maureen and you and Marion have been doing is the work that we need to continue to do.
that
It's
sounds
long,
right.
It's arduous, it's hard. Yes, it wears you out, but that's what we have to do. Continue the work that we're already doing. So you got a head start on these guys.
Yep.
You've been catching his bad air and turning it into, you're taking his lemons and turning it into lemonade with the organizing that you're doing.
Listen,
and
Rick.
we have to continue
Rick.
to do that,
Can't
but
hear you.
people
You
have
can't
to
hear.
know
Second delay.
that it's not just because a whole group of people in the country are racist, because that's true, but it's not just because of that. It's because of a lot of stuff. We don't want to set up another system that works this way. I would never want to be a head of a system that uses the capitalist mode of production. And the capitalist mode of production has outlived itself, and we have to show and prove to our friends that it has. It's made mistakes by overusing robots and computers and firing us. And now they have a whole sea of unemployed, dissatisfied people who can do almost everything.
That's right.
He ought to be smart. But they were smart in knowing who was going to win the election. They got out there and did that kind of research.
Okay, well, I
We
think
should
we
have
got,
that kind of understanding of our class ourselves.
and I think we got hoodwinked. Now, Marion is going to comment on this too. So, Marion, what were you going to say about this third voice?
Rick and Michelle, we have been talking about a third voice or a party that would represent our interests for years, and it's coming about. It is time, because if we had one out here this last time, now I know that the Green Party was running a lot of, Michelle has said earlier, a lot of candidates. But if you grounded in the neighborhood, and if you grounded in what's happening within our class and stuff like that, you would know that one of the ultimate things that you got to do is to raise the question around the human rights of water, the human needs.
That's right.
That has to be that. If anything, this is the party has to have a 5-year plan or something, a 4-year plan, because in 4 years we're going to make sure that every community have water. It's going to be clean, and we're going to make sure that people are not paying $2,000 and more for what have you. But it's going to also lay the foundation that you will have jobs based on that. But that is not what they, because who wants the water are these corporations that maintain their fracking, to maintain what they need to do at our expense, because they don't need us to work no more. So therefore, that's the type of third voice. That's the type of party that we're talking about. That is what we need, and not a party out here talking about the
Candidates
and
we ain't
stuff.
talking about that.
You know, that might end. We might agree at some junction within there that we have to have candidates.
Why don't you turn that Mormon Tabernacle phone you got off?
You know, that we might have to have that. But that would be the voices from the masses that are saying that.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to give us your final thoughts on this, because we only have about 3 more minutes before we have to move to the last segment. But I am really excited. This came up during the Welfare Rights Retreat. An organization, and I'm only using a third voice because somebody else needs to name whatever this vehicle is going to be. But it works for me to have an entity that says there needs to be permanent protection of seniors against utility shutoffs based on the ability to pay. That works for me. Okay, so now you all give me your thoughts in terms of your final thoughts on a third voice.
Well, final thoughts on third voice. Maureen, I think you're so right. But that politics really starts local. It starts by being concerned about the who is last in this race and not who is first. And children and seniors and poor people, period, in our class we're last. So we should come together and form a party. And I think that both of you guys have the information and the know-how to build it. So if any one of you step out there, save me some room behind, because I'm right there with you.
We going to send that. Michelle, what are your final thoughts on this? Because we're launching this thought on the air today, because we're going to bring all the welfare rights across the country into this discussion. What are your final thoughts?
I think it's right on point and right on time. You know, welfare rights has been stepping out there for a while, taking positions that don't seem to fit with what the general trends are. And I really think that this idea of a third voice is not necessarily a new idea, but it really should be coming from the victims of poverty.
That's right.
It really should be coming from the folks who are always pushed last. I mean, I think that there should be a lifetime moratorium on utility shutoffs for seniors. There should be a lifetime moratorium against how our public education system, which we created after the Civil War, has been warped to now serve the interests of the rich and the capitalists against us. Okay. I think that there should be lifetime protections for workers who worked and paid into a pension system and now are being
Yes.
forced to, the pensions are being taken and now they're being forced to be retrained for jobs to sit at a desk and, push buttons when what they want to do is make things. They're tired of being alienated from the work that they do and the products that they're producing. They want to see the results of their labor and their work. And people should be paid living wages for things. So we know that in order to get all of those things and to get, the free education that we should have through college, is going to take a new system. It's not going to take just tweaking and reworking the system that we have, because the system that we have is rotten to the core and is not designed to serve our interests. We're the ones who are going to have to force this third voice forward. And if Rick is behind you, I'm right there pushing him along in his wheelchair. So we're going to, we're with you on this.
I'm going to say this to you both. I appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your time this evening to get on this. It'll be about 2 or 3 weeks when I buzz you up again, and by then, hopefully you'll have something in writing in terms of some of the concepts we want to enjoy. We've got 4 years to build something called the third voice, or whatever it is that people decide to make it. And my guess is, Marion, Rick, and Michelle, at the end of 4 years, we ought to have about 20 million people in an organization that says, this is what we want. Thank you so
This
very
is our
much, you two.
platform. Yeah.
And
everything.
y'all can't get sick. You can't get
Our
tired. You got to
program.
start writing right now.
Okay. All right.
Very
That's
good.
Good hearing your
And
voices.
love you back. You take care, and thank you so much.
Love you both.
All right,
Bye.
now, thank you. Caller, you on the air. Thank you for waiting, and thank you for calling Ask Welfare Rights.
Hi. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
I just want to say quickly, because I just signed in, but how about a movement of the 99%? How about a movement for the 99% who wants humanity, justice?
Too vague. Stop.
Well-
Too vague. What does that mean? When you say who want humanity, what does that mean? Be
We want
specific.
justice.
No,
safety,
too vague.
security.
Too vague. Donald Trump says he's got justice right now. What do you mean?
I would say we want justice as far as the Department of Justice. We want fair justice. We want food, water.
Oh, all right, now
Housing.
we
Now
talking.
we're talking.
Now we
Yeah.
talking. Yeah.
So
In
we
your
start the
household,
movement
in
to be
your
a 99%.
household, wait a minute. In your household, what would you say has to be a permanent protection for disabled people?
Humane services for food, water, housing, and medical needs.
Good. All right, so you're saying protection.
Protection,
I love
safety,
it.
and security.
You're hired. We're going to put you on the thinking committee, okay?
Okay. Thank
All
you.
right.
Strategies.
Okay, very good. You hired. You on the thinking committee. Thank you very much. Okay.
Well,
All right, Marion, what do you... hold on. Caller, you're on the air. Thank you for waiting.
Yes, good evening. How are you doing?
And
I'm
fine,
fine.
sir. Good evening.
Real good, and happy holidays.
And
Same
happy
to you.
holidays to you too, dear.
Now, we want everything that everybody else is getting and
Too
deserves.
vague.
We want
Too-
the same
no,
quality of life that our
no,
state
no,
legislators.
No,
and all
that's too
of them.
vague. What is it that you want? That's too vague. What do you want?
We want clean water,
Clean water?
insurance for
I heard you say
I want-
clean water.
insurance, quality insurance, and the quality of life.
What you
Our
mean
neighborhoods,
quality
and we
insurance?
want proper, good education of our children.
Okay, all righty, but we got to define that a little bit more.
Something people can afford that some people can afford.
Okay, you talking about car insurance? You talking about health
Everybody
insurance?
deserves I'm sorry. Everybody deserves to be able to go to the hospital and be taken care and treated right,
So you
whether they
talking
got
about-
insurance or not.
So you
You know,
talking
I
about
got insurance
universal
and all
health
like
care?
that, even though I have to pay co-pays and all, but I'm very sympathetic to the ones that don't have. We got
Okay.
to take care of them
Universal
also, and we're
That's
supposed
what
to.
we yeah.
Okay, that's
And that's
good.
the,
We
the
agree
state
with
is
you on
supposed to
that.
do that.
All right. You are hired. You are now on the think tank committee
Yeah.
also. Okay.
And I'm making some notes, and I'll call back.
And thank you very
Right.
much. All right.
Which committee?
The thinking
Thank you.
committee. I'm sorry I hung up too fast. You're on the thinking committee. Caller, you are on the air. Thank you for waiting and thank you for calling Ask Welfare Rights.
Yes, ladies. One more thing. Lower property taxes for the elderly and the people that's been here, like Miss Agnes Hitchcock is putting out there, and also lower property taxes for places where it ain't no schools and no millage. You know, they try to keep the property taxes the same, even though it ain't a school in that district or nowhere. So
Now-
lower property taxes, clean water, health care for the elderly and the disabled.
What this gentleman is talking about is Miss Agnes, for several weeks now, has been pitching an outstanding project that says if you've been paying property taxes on your home for 30 years, you ought to be able to be exempted,
Exempt.
lower or you know some kind of percentage in terms of a property tax. And if you've been in your property for 20 years, you ought to be able to have some kind of exemptions and whatnot. I think this gentleman is talking about the things that's what we envision.
That's it.
The government's job, you know, sir, down at Welfare Rights, we got this emblem on the wall. And what it says is, what is the role of government? And Habanaptra, some 3,700 years ago, asked this question, what is the role of government? And the answer is the role of government is to protect the rights of the citizens. I don't know, all the rest of these corporate folks and these politicians look like they forgot that. So I think we agree with you. Do we agree with that, Marion? About
We
these
agree.
property taxes?
Yeah, we
We're
agree.
going to put him on the thinking committee.
Yeah,
Thank you.
at the same time,
Okay, you hired.
you
Thanks.
start writing
All right,
some
bye.
things down.
He hired. He on the thinking committee. All right, caller, very good. You on the list, okay? Caller, you on the air. Thank you for waiting and thank you for calling Ask Welfare Rights. We're down to our
Yes,
last
I'm
2
sorry to
minutes.
call right back.
Yes, no, it's all
But I
right.
know last week I wasn't able to call in when Maureen, I think it was reading about the higher taxes and the water rates and that
Yes.
thing that the court system
Marion,
overturned.
yeah.
And I was trying to explain it to somebody, and they said, "Well, they ain't heard nothing about it. Their bill ain't going to." I said, "Well, y'all should listen to the news and all." Because I think it was Maureen last week that was speaking on it, and evident. Maybe you ought to clarify and explain it briefly
will.
to them again, because they say they ain't heard nothing about it. Well, they should look at. They say they ain't seen it on the news. Well, the news. I don't look at Channel
It's
7
been
to
on
find
the
out good
news.
information. You're not going to find it there.
Well, we'll
okay,
raise
I'm
it
hang up
again.
and listen.
Okay, we'll
Yeah, I'm hang up and listen.
we'll raise
Okay.
it again. Okay, caller, you on the air. Thank you for waiting, and we're down to our last minute and a half. Caller, you there?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. A girl took my TV, and Leonard Center want me to pay for it, and she don't want to give them back. What can I do?
Okay, say the first part again.
Her name is Quan Lacey. She took my TVs, and I'm a senior citizen disabled,
Mr.
handicapped,
Sable.
and she took both my TVs, and she want to give them back to me. And Leonard Center trying to sue me. What should I do?
You should call us at Welfare Rights Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday after 11 o'clock so we can get the details, and we will be happy to help you.
I'm a senior citizen disabled, and I need
Mr.
y'all help
Lacey?
us back. Her name is
Mr.
Quan Lacey.
Mr. Lacey.
Yeah.
Mr.
Her name
Lacey.
is Quan.
I heard
She
you.
took it. Quan
Mr. Lacey, I hear you, Mr. Lacey. I need
Yes.
you to call Welfare Rights Monday,
Okay.
Tuesday, or Wednesday after 11 o'clock.
Yes, ma'am.
We have to get some details, and we would be happy to help you.
Okay, thank you, because she took everything from me, and I need some help. She told me she can give me nothing back.
Okay, all right, you call us.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, bye now. Marion, you
God bless you.
and thank
Happy
you.
Thanksgiving.
And thank
You
you so
too,
much,
sir.
Marion. You have 30 seconds.
Yes, ma'am.
Again, we hope that you will join this fight This and people in Highland Park, Detroit, Hamtramck, or what have you, you should all come to this meeting that can come on this Friday. Give them that. Where's
6 p.m. We're talking about Nandi's Restaurant. Nandi is Nandi. Nandi's Restaurant is on Woodward, right at Glendale, across the street from the gas station. Nandi's Restaurant
door
a
to
week
the gas
from
station.
today. Well, it's across the street from 1-2. That's where I parked.
yeah.
All right, and it's 6 o'clock. And folks in Highland Park and folks that want to support this from Detroit and Hamtramck should come as well. There'll be a discussion of strategies, what to do about these millions of dollars that's being put on the backs of our sisters and brothers in Highland Park. And we have to go and work with them and defend this, because this is,
That's
again,
Detroit.
an issue, you know.
and Hamtramck in the metropolitan area, we need to be pulling together.
This
In
is
the
the truth.
state of Michigan, we need to be pulling together to make sure that this we all fighting for a better system, and the system has to be controlled by us, not by the corporation. Come out.
All right, and we're going to be back on the air again next Friday and talk a little bit more about this development of a third voice. And we want to, too much information, and we want to make certain that folks are thinking about this, because this is a big deal across the nation. We want to launch this thinking about a third voice. We've got 4 years in which to try to develop something that deals with our standard of living, our quality of life, and what exactly do those things mean. And that's the kind of conversation we're having. We're going to end the night by reminding folks, those of you that are smoking those cigarettes, you know, I tell you, keep smoking them. Probably 2 packs a day is not enough. Try to see if you can smoke 4 packs a day. And those of you that are driving real fast on the freeway, and I see them bumpers all along the side, stay off the rest of our bumpers. You know, we ain't got to drive as fast as you. And the rest of you, this murders list that we hear every day.
Every morning.
Somebody on the east side, somebody on the west side. That needs to stop. And the last thing, Marion and I both are going to tell you, get your damn gas when the sunlight is up. Stay out of them freaking gas stations at 2 or 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. The criminals are there waiting for you to get gas. Get your gas when the sun is out. My. Plan your lives better so you can live to plan better longer. Goodbye.